Welcome to part 65 of Final Fantasy VIII. If you happen to be catching this part and you don't live in Germany, because copyright may hit this as soon as I get onto a certain scene, then you realize that this is the scene after we finish clearing out the propagators. By the way, propagators suck. Still do. Anyway, now that we finished clearing them out, in order for us to continue, we have to go up this lift here. And with that, Rinoa is like a little child on a Ferris wheel. So now, we're gonna have to go back to Earth, or at least control the thing, so that we will, not be flying all the way. Okay, how should I put this? Control the thing so that we won't be drifting into space while it's flipping endlessly. So, this spaceship, the Ragnarok, was actually launched by Estar to do its orbit and actually, keep an eye out on things on the moon. However, something happened where the Ragnarok was flown into space. So, yeah. What Squall is doing right now is talking to the Estar Air Station, where they will help they'll help Squall to control the Ragnarok and at least come home. And to make things even more messed up, the Ragnarok was pretty much out into space for 17 years, meaning those goddamn propagators has already killed and eaten the crew. Yeah. 17 years. And now we're gonna commandeer this spaceship. That's right. A runabout. I'll steal it! And no one will ever know! I mean, somebody will actually know. But now Squall will be commandeering this plane for the time being. And this scene is probably one of the more touching, which is probably why people like this couple a lot. Me, on the other hand, how shall I put this? I like the theme music that plays with the theme. That's with the scene that's going to be coming up shortly. Alright. There is one thing I want to mention. I did put the aspect ratio a little bit so it won't be a giant black screen. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this with Windows Movie Maker, because this is the only software that will actually work with Muvave rather than Muvave itself. I mean, Muvave can record, but when it comes down to actually recording voice recording, there's some sort of glitch. So it'll only record gameplay footage on screen, that is. Anyway, instead of Rinoa actually flying to Squall, Squall has to carry Rinoa. I need an adult. And when Squall says, go over there and sit your seatbelt. No, sit in your seat and put on your seatbelt. This is what she does. Sits right in his lap. Yep, Squall needs an adult. Okay, I'll stop saying that, but still, you gotta admit, this was really a forced relationship. And Rinoa is finally contemplating that, well, Squall is the only one that could tolerate her. And tolerate's a strong word. I do believe in the PlayStation version that she mentioned something about Cypher. I do believe that that's what she mentioned. But they took that out here in the PC version, I'm not sure. But they did mention something about Squall being jealous of Cypher. I'm more than sure they did. But they remastered the song, which is something that is pretty good, and I like it. I like the song here. I like most of the soundtracks on this game. So, yeah. Again, Rinoa is feeling comforting. And, ha! She actually said the line I was gonna say. Annoyance and disappointment. But, what else I could say is she's actually contemplating everything that she's done, because now she realized, since this ship is going into autopilot back to Earth, that she's the sorceress and nobody is going to like her, let alone wants to be around her, which is actually a sad thing. However, I would actually feel so bad about that if she would not have gotten in the area, you know, happened to be anywhere around Sorceress Edea. And the only reason Sorceress Edea was able to pass Ultimisia's powers onto her in the first place was because of the fact she tried to put that Odine Pin on her in the first place. And Rinoa is now realizing that her actions took dire consequences. So as it stands, when Ragnarok actually, no, when the air station asked who's on the plane, they realize Rinoa's on the plane, and Rinoa is going to be arrested the moment she gets on the off of the Ragnarok. But to be fair, Rinoa actually did brought this on herself by getting in contact with the sorceress. Also, let's not forget one other factor into this. Rinoa has Squall's ring, practically. And she hasn't given him back. Given it back his ring, that's right. And now that I think about it in hindsight, if Squall's ring is on Rinoa, and Rinoa ended up with the power of the sorceress, what would have happened if Squall would have had his ring back at the time he defeated the sorceress? Would the power have passed on to Squall? And if that was the case, oh crap. Squall would have been the next sorcerer, and yeah, that would have been more problems for Squall. Ah, boy. I feel sorry for the guy, I really do. That's just so much pressure and so much hindsight on him. And the fact that Square Enix forced this relationship so much to where now it's actually an official relationship, and Squall doesn't know how to feel at all because he tried to be lonely. Well, needless to say, Estar's forces came and apprehended her just as they were going to do. And they're going to seal her away. Well, good news is we'll immediately take her back after this. Well, after the entirety of the cutscene with the Ragnarok. And also cutscenes with Estar, but we'll still take her back regardless. The fact is, we are pretty much in the gist of what's going on, and that is Ultimisia wants to screw over time, and she is willing to go great lengths to do so. Which is stupid. So, they're going to the Sorceress Memorial. With Rinoa actually complying. Well, at least for the most part, they are complying. Now then, Rinoa practically realizes what's going on. And of course, she still has Squall's ring. Which Squall actually let her keep. Seriously? It was real, in my opinion. The fact that Squall's ring played a huge part in plot convenience, it should tell you numbers that Rinoa was definitely going to be the sorceress. And on that regard, this is actually Rinoa's fault anyway! Because Zell came up with that cockamamie plan to, give Rinoa a copy of Squall's ring. Oh well, let's get back on board. And as soon as we do, plot will commence. However, the Ragnarok is full of lights and stuff. Well, one thing is perfectly clear, there are no beds in the Ragnarok. There is a save point, but that's it. This is permanently our ship for the rest of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Rejoice! But we'll have to come here to this cockpit right here in order for us to actually continue. This is where all the passengers actually sit. I'm surprised they're not covered with blood. So, turns out Quistis actually survived the crash of the escape pod. So, yeah. Alone is nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, she was kidnapped by the Estar forces. So, yeah. She is somewhere in Estar. And now Quistis is going to scold Squall for letting Rinoa go after he done went through all the trouble of not only rescuing her, but surviving the propagators in the process. And we are now reunited with Selphie and Irvin. And Zell. Zell pretty much reports that, the lunatic Pandora pretty much went over to Tears Point and caused the lunar cry. And that the Galbadian soldiers is responsible for the lunar cry. Something we kinda already know. And yeah, not only that, but Sorceress Edea has landed in Tears Point. So, we've got ourselves a fight on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, because we're nearing the end of Disc 3. We've got a few more parts before this disc is done. No, actually, we got a lot more parts before this disc is done because we got side quests to do. Side quests that needs to be done immediately, especially when it comes down to the last 2 GFs to be available. Or should I say last 4 GFs to be available. I mean, Odin, you have until this point in order to get. So I'm going to go on ahead and try to gun for Odin and just avoid any battle that or just run from any battle I can, because I can't really avoid it. But anything else I need to say? Yes, there is. I'll try to shoot for Bahamut, Eden, Tonberry King, and Cactuar King. Yeah, I should have made that 5. And hopefully, among the group of items that I get, the magical lamp being one of them, so I can get Diablos. Because I know one thing. There will be a point where I will have to draw a carbuncle near the end of the game. And the less GFs I have to draw from the end of the game standpoint, the better. One thing is perfectly clear, though. Selphie and Irvin will be at the helm of the Ragnarok, and you can always talk to them whenever you want to fly the Ragnarok around. Oh, and by the way, you can talk to Quistis to continue the story. I think. Or not. I guess you could just keep going then. Sounds like I could just picture Selphie in the sea, Selphie screaming, "Woo, we're flying!" And standing next to her is a very exciting Irvin. They made that bold prediction, and as soon as we go up to the cockpit, that's exactly what's happening. Damn, Selphie is out of control. So now, from here on in, we can fly the Ragnarok. And the thing is, the Ragnarok can actually go over terrain that the Garden could not. However, we could actually fly to the Garden that is located at Fisherman's Horizon in order for us to get to most of the people. But for the time being, I'm in it here.